Kansas City is one of the most underrated housing markets in the country. But what most people don't realize is just how far your money can go here. Like a starter home for under $250,000, the rare chance to buy into a luxury district at a discount. Kansas City still has pockets of serious value hiding in plain sight. In this video, we're going to cover prices, lifestyle, and exactly who each area is best suited for. Whether you're a first-time buyer, investor, or just looking to stretch your budget a little further than you thought might be possible. All right, and kicking off the list, believe it or not, is a luxury neighborhood where sharp-eyed buyers can still find hidden gems. All right, so today we're talking about Nottingham Forest. We're in Johnson County, which is one of Kansas City's most prestigious counties. It's where everybody wants to be, at some of the best schools. So we're gonna jump right into some affordable housing there. We've got Nottingham Forest. It's on the southern side of Johnson County. We're right here off, you can see off 69 Highway on my computer screen. And what I have pulled up here is the last 12 months of active sold and pending properties in Nottingham, so we can get a really good sample for local data. You guys are getting a sneak peek right into the MLS, you know, behind the scenes. So we'll pull this up. You can see we're right next to a golf course. We've got that close by. We've got a nice neighborhood. It's full of trees. There's walking trails, tennis courts, so all the normal amenities. And this is a subdivision primarily in the 80s with some houses in the 70s. So let's dive in and we'll look at a couple of these houses just so you can get an idea of the style of the house, and then we'll go in and look at the stats and see kind of what the average sales prices and all that have been. So we have, let's go to, just to get it, we'll go through a few of the actives and pendings just so you can kind of see what the photos look like here, but it's a good looking house right there. A little dated on the inside. Some of the more affordable ones you'll find haven't been renovated yet, up to date, so they still kind of have that 80s characteristics with the golden oak, and looks like this one is updated the countertops, but carpet in the bathrooms and that brass, but that one's coming in right at 6 on the market right now. A lot of square footage there, and then we've got another one that's active. So in the last 12 months, we have currently 2 active, and the average the median price right now is $625 for active. We have pending, median price for pending is $657, and then our median sold price was $622, but on the minimum there were several that sold in the 4s, so that's what we're talking about, affordability and getting into Johnson County neighborhoods, or even Nottingham Forest in the mid 4s. That's a great price point to be in a great school district close to a lot of amenities. Would be great, yeah. And that's in a neighborhood that maxed out too this year at $890. All right, so next is Wycliff, and Wycliff is located right in the center of Johnson as well. We got the map pulled up in here. We are just to the east of 69 Highway and just north of 435. So those are 2 highway systems that get you there in the city. So it's great to be close to, and then you have 35 over here, which is where all the action happens, or a lot of the action in Johnson County. So really a really convenient location. Corporate Woods is right across the street. That's where a lot of the businesses are. So if you happen to work there, look at that. You're just a hop and a skip. You can probably bike to work. But let's zoom on in and see what Wycliff has to offer. You can see we've got a golf course running right through the middle of the community. So that's kind of cool. If you're this was established, and a lot of these homes were built in the 60s and the 70s. Let's go in and take a look at a couple of these houses. We'll just kind of flip through some of the actives real quick, and then we'll look at the stats. This is again in your Blue Valley School District, but you can just see that these houses are a little smaller. We're running on average 21 to 3,100 finished square feet in these properties, and that a lot of that's whether you finish the basement or not. Prices, let's hop in here and look at these. We've got average active, of course there's only 4 on the market now, so that's coming in at $559. We'll go down here to pending. Those are under contract. We've got 2 pending with an average price of $565. Then down here at the sold, you can see our average or our median price was $472. So that's pretty reasonable. But then there was even somebody that was able to squeak in this year at $10,000. So that's super for anywhere in Johnson County. So you can still find those kind of hidden gems. Yeah, at only $150 a foot, that is a great price to, wind up right in the heart of Overland Park. Our next neighborhood, we've got Shannon Valley. Shannon Valley. So this is just south of the last one. We are just south of 435, still east of 69. So we're still right down there by Corporate Woods. A lot of action down in this area. Business between us and the highway, and then nothing to the north. So it's going to be a little quieter here. And these homes were built primarily late 70s to kind of mid 80s. So we're getting a little newer. These homes are going to be a little bit bigger than the last subdivision. And then I'll point out too, on the west side, we have Creek Trail, and that's going to run you down. That's going to run you up into Corporate Woods. It's also going to take you on down to the school, so the kids can walk to school from this neighborhood, which is really nice. And then this neighborhood includes, we've got a little tennis court right here, and then we have a little playground park area as well. So you've got all that. And then again, we've got curbside recycling and trash that is included with your HOA. So let's pop in and look at a couple of these houses just to kind of get the flavor of this neighborhood, and then we'll look at some averages. Let's look at, we got 2 active properties. So these 2 are on the market right now, 3,100 square feet. It's a nice looking house. We got a little 2-story there, 3,200 square feet. And then we've got some pendings, 33. So I'm guessing that 25 to 3,500 is kind of going to be our range down here. Yeah, got a ranch. All right, let's look at some statistics here. So we're gonna look at the last 12 months like we did on the other ones. Currently there's 2 active, so the median price there is 530. And our market right now, days on market are starting to tick up a little bit. We're seeing stuff sit on the market, but let's see it. And pending, we have 2 pending right now, 525 is average, and the sold, that's what counts. We got the median sales price of 469,500. I mean, that average is right at 3,000 square feet, but someone was able to get in this year at 422 was the lowest price. So still pretty affordable, nice neighborhood, great location. Anything you want to add to this area, Max?
Yeah, I think it just offers a really good space for a family to grow and get an instant sense of community. Being right there on College Boulevard, there's a lot of action right there. This next neighborhood is a real gem, and that is Indian Creek Estates. All right, Indian Creek Estates, tell me about it.
Indian Creek Estates. So we are just, we're staying kind of south central Overland Park here because there's a lot of value there, but we are just south of the last neighborhood we were at. I'm still on the east side of 69, still in a great place. Now, 119th, you were just telling me, Max, this is kind of the main drag, right?
Yeah, it takes you right over to Leawood Town Center, which is the mecca for Overland Park shopping and entertainment.
So yeah, restaurants, you can blow all your money right there on food and shopping, and you're done. These are still going to be built about the same time. We're late 70s, kind of the mid 80s. So that we're still in the same kind of style of homes, kind of a mixed bag, splits and ranches and 2 stories. Let's go in and take a look at a couple of these. You got a nice little ranch there, 2,500 square feet. You got a 2-story at 3,000. The good thing with a lot of these older homes like this is almost everybody's going to have a finished basement by this point. You are going to get a lot of square footage for your money. You got another 2-story, 3,000 square feet there. We're gonna kind of keep seeing these similar floor plans almost in the exact same order. It's kind of funny. And now let's go in and just look at some averages real quick. The old tubular. Average active, we just have 1, so 475. Median sold was 505 over the last 12 months. And that got you a 4-bedroom, 3,000 square foot house. And that's it, we don't have anything pending. So 505, the best price house or the steal of the neighborhood for the year was 445. So you can kind of see these are staying a little bit tighter. We don't have a huge swing in prices, but great neighborhood, close to a lot of good stuff. Anything else you want to add to that, Max?
Yeah, I will just say that it's a great area for outdoors, mature trees. You do have a little bit of townhomes on the south side of the subdivision there along 119th. So, if you don't want to be near multifamily, then that would be something to consider. But it is a big draw because it's right on the Indian Creek Trail system. Some of these other neighborhoods we mentioned have been on. You've got the elementary school right there. The location is just phenomenal. So it's a really great option if you want to stay affordable and be in that area. But if you want to stay in the mid-century modern sweet spot, let's move to an area that offers some of the best architectural charm. All right, we're talking Oak Park.
We are on the north of 435 this time, and we are west of 69, so we just kind of jumped catty corner. So we're still in that central Overland Park, kind of south central, but this is pretty far to the west, which kind of also gets reflected in the price. This is going to be a little more affordable. Got a lot of options here. So let's just hop in and take a look at a couple of these so you can get a flavor for what they're looking at. You're going to see a lot of side-to-side splits in this neighborhood. You're going to see a lot of front-to-back splits, 2 stories and ranches and raised ranches. And a lot of these splits, you get a lot more square footage when it's split with the same footprint, so they can put a smaller house on a smaller lot, but still get adequate square footage by doing a split. So you'll see a lot of these in these smaller lot size neighborhoods, and it's just, another way to get a lot of square footage in a house.
A lot of homes squarely in the 300s, and you can see by the days on market, not many of them are lasting more than a week or two.
Yeah, 22 to 3,000 square feet on most of these. And then the price goes up from there. Let's go ahead and just jump in the stats. There's a lot of activity. This neighborhood has a lot of turnover, primarily just because there's so many houses in the neighborhood. But we've got one active right now, so that's also a sign that it's still hot. And the solds, the median sale price was $434,500, and then some lucky person was able to get in there for $2,800. So
getting in the twos, I didn't even think that was possible in Overland Park anymore. That is awesome.
Yep. So yeah, a lot of great stuff, and you're still gonna have free trash and free recycle with this neighborhood as well. Still access to a lot of the trail systems in the area, close to all the other amenities that everybody else has. So
yeah, it's perfect for young professionals, first-time homebuyers, and anyone who dislikes those cookie-cutter subdivisions. Really nice little area right by Oak Park Mall. And, you know, I think the charm is a huge draw. But if your top priority is getting the absolute most house for your dollar, our next neighborhood is where the numbers really start to get attractive.
All right, we've got Southmoor Gardens. We've got it pulled up here on the map. We're a little further north in Overland Park. We are 69th Street, starting right through the middle of it. And just so you know how Overland Park's laid out from north to south, as you go further south and the streets get bigger. So as you get away from the city, the street numbers go up. So we're further up north. We were down around 119th before. And this is the older, so everything started up north, and then as time went on, they started building south. So a lot of these properties are gonna be built in like the 50s and some of the 60s. And this neighborhood is gonna be a mixed bag. A lot of times in those older neighborhoods, like when they plotted it out and laid out the lots, some of these lots are gonna be skinny and long, or some are gonna be big corner lots. I mean, it's just a mixed bag, but it's cool because it keeps everything unique. So as we dive into this, you can see we're still close to 435, and really Metcalf, which used to be kind of the main drag. It was the main highway that went north and south through Overland Park in the good old days. This is primarily residential here, but let's go ahead and dive in and kind of see what we got here, because you can see right away, we've got some skinny lots, some rectangles, some squares, corner lots, some really teeny tiny houses. And that's as we dive in to look at the properties themselves. You're gonna see we don't have a whole lot here. This is a smaller subdivision.
What a range.
But what a range, yeah. This one's 779 with almost 4,000 square feet. Nice big 2-story bricks. Now this one's a little more modern. This was built in the 90s. And then we go right down to 59, which is a full reno, 59 house, which is beautiful, by the way. So I don't know that averages are going to make a lot of sense in here, but we'll pull it up just to see, because it's such a mixed bag. Active 779, median was pending, and then median sold was 470 with the winner at 310 in the last 12 months.
Yeah, just a 2-bedroom, 1-bath though for 1,400 square feet. So you're still looking at $200 a square foot in that area. So it's a really desirable area, but a little bit of a mixed bag. So if you are looking for cohesion in your subdivision, then this probably isn't the place for you. But if you're looking for a place to get a steal, I think you could scoop up one of those older homes and find yourself in Overland Park, a really desirable area for a good price.
Yep.
So Southmoor Gardens offers incredible value, but let's look at another neighborhood in a similar price range that also offers great access to one of Overland Park's best features. All right, we're talking Regency Park.
Regency Park. So we are still in Johnson County. This is just northeast of the 69 and 435 intersection. So we've kind of been hovering all 4 corners of this. This is going to be one of the more affordable subdivisions. A lot of these are going to be smaller homes. That's how we're getting affordable. Kind of maxed out at 1,500 square feet, kind of 12 to 15. So we're still got all the amenities, all the local shopping, all the great stuff this area has to offer. And a nice small little neighborhood. You can see these lots are, they're decent sized lots. They're bigger than some of these lots to the west, but let's pop in here and take a look at a couple of these houses and get a feel for what we're looking at.
Ooh, we're in the twos.
We're in the 289, but we can see that's a tiny ranch at 1,300 square feet. Some will have basements, some won't. This has a little bit of a basement finish. We're at 315 for 1,100 square feet.
Man, these guys are getting sold first day on market.
Yeah, they're going fast. So that's just a phenomenal price, right, to get you living in Johnson County and Overland Park. There's a 34 day on the market. But yeah, you can see a lot of these are built in the 60s, so they're going to be really old homes. Some are going to be updated. Most aren't going to be like totally rehabbed in here, just because of that price point. There's not a whole lot of room to make a lot of money on a flip. unless you get it for dirt cheap. But let's go down here and look at the stats and kind of see what our averages are. There's nothing active. We have 2 pending at a medium at 302. And then our median sold price is 325 with the winner of the day at 232. So
Wow, 232.
yeah,
Only 1,300 square feet though. Most of these are right in the 1,200 to 1,500 square foot range.
yeah. So a little less space, but a little less money. So if you're on a budget, this could be a great spot to start to take advantage of the amazing school district and all of the amenities that Overland Park has to offer.
Yeah, really an ideal spot for both investors and first-time home buyers. It's going to have a little more of a urban feel, a little tighter, a little smaller, but very affordable. All right, so from one of the most affordable to another one that takes the prize, if you're looking for rock bottom prices in Overland Park, it doesn't get cheaper than our number 2 spot, Mission Morland.
Mission Morland. So as you can see on the map right here, we are in the north side of Overland Park. We 35 highway just to the west and 63rd Street to the north. This little tiny neighborhood is actually right about 70th Street. So I think we had one earlier on 69th. But you can see we got nice little, I mean, it's just a nice tiny neighborhood, tiny lots.
Fir trees.
Yep, big trees. We do have sidewalks on one side of the street here, and then so nice walkable, quiet little area. Let's pop in and see what these houses look like. There's only a few because it's small, but you can see we're under 1,000 square feet, built in 1946. So this is our oldest subdivision we've looked at so far.
Wow, that one's just 864 square feet.
Teeny tiny, but 265. So yeah, they're all right around 1,000. There's a 962.
Yeah, it's funny that it's called Mission Morland because it's actually just south of Mission, barely inside of Overland Park. So apparently they needed more land.
And it's less land. Yeah. Median sales price is 322.
Yeah, just one sold, kind of a really small little area, but a great option if you're looking for something really affordable. It doesn't get much cheaper than that for Overland Park, and it's clear on the north end, so it's the oldest area, but it's still right in all the heart of the action. Great location, good school. And that's why it made our list. And finally, if we can combine affordability with a desirable lifestyle feature that people absolutely love, we land on our number 1 most affordable neighborhood in Overland Park, and that is Pinehurst. Tell me about it.
Yeah, Pinehurst Estates, pretty cool little neighborhood. It's not super cookie cutter. We're still in that 69 highway and 435 highway kind of corridor. We're close to shopping, but we're not right up against the highway, so we're gonna have that buffer of that highway noise, which is kind of nice, but still have all the shopping, all the access to all the fun stuff to do, and all the access to the highway. So pretty cool location, really.
Yeah, kind of the best kept little secret for Overland Park, just north of 95th Street there.
Yep. So we zoom in here. First thing you can kind of see is this isn't your, it's not just your square laid out city lots. It is nice and curvy and fun, and I think that kind of plays into the rest of the neighborhood. As we click in here, you can see that we've got a lot of unique houses. We've also got a unique price range. So this one on the market for $992, so a big one, over 4,000 square feet. Nice big circle drive. But then we've got some normal stuff too. We've got one here that's pending at $450, 3,000 square feet. So let's go in here and look at the statistics real quick. We have average active, which I don't think we had anything yet. There's just one, 992. Yeah, that one big one with the circle drive. Pending was 450, and the median sold price was 645. And somebody in the last year, the best price was 510.
Yeah, I think you can get in there in the 4s. It hasn't happened within the last year, but it's definitely possible. And the great thing is you kind of get that $1 million country club feel and vibe of the neighborhood with no cookie cutter homes. Kind of seems a little custom, but you can get in there at a great price in the low 5s, maybe upper 4s if you're lucky. Might be a fixer upper, but then you have the room to invest in the area because you can see some are selling in the 700-800 range. So it's a great spot to be from a location standpoint and from an investment standpoint.
If you're thinking about moving to Kansas City and you need some help figuring out which one of these neighborhoods might be the right fit for you, that's exactly why we're here, right? Reach out, you can call us, you can shoot us an email, you can schedule a Zoom call, we're here to help.
And before you buy a home in Kansas City, you're gonna need to see this. There's something going on here that's blindsiding a lot of buyers and it's not talked about enough. So in our next video, we're gonna break it down so you don't get caught off guard.